Hello there, and welcome to the latest edition of Caleb and Drew Economics Podcast. I'm Caleb Liao.
And I'm Drew Venkatraman. Today we'll be answering the question, what does the caramel frappuccino mean to Starbucks? Stay tuned to find out the answer and more of what you didn't know about the caramel frappuccino right after this commercial break.
Chevy, like a rock. Malaysia, truly Asia. We asked a variety of Shanghai American School students questions that pertain to the relationship with the hot cafe Starbucks. Such questions included what their favorite drinks were and how frequently they bought them in a week's time. Our research was intriguing and left us with watering mouths in anticipation to tell you our results. Today, we reveal our discoveries.
Starbucks! A cafe that started in the small village of Seattle, Washington, has extended its dominance all over the world. Today, students of the Shanghai American School can frequently be seen going in and out of the local Starbucks in Zudi. Initially, we thought it'd be interesting to know what variety of drinks students actually bought at Starbucks. But after conducting our research, we found something even more interesting. Of 30 that claimed to be the regular customers of Starbucks, 20 of them reported that their favorite drink and most frequently purchased beverage at Starbucks was actually the caramel frappuccino.
From there, we saw it as our duty to report to you the importance of the caramel frappuccino to Starbucks. If such a great proportion of Starbucks customers were going to Starbucks for their caramel frappuccino, what would be the effect on the demand for Starbucks if the caramel frappuccino were to be taken away? And if the caramel frappuccino is such a hot item at Starbucks, is the product price elastic, unit elastic, or inelastic? We went back to those 20 people and asked them a new set of questions. Here were our findings.
This table shows the total revenue and elasticity of caramel frappuccinos dictated by price, according to the consumer habits of 20 Shanghai American School students. The current price of caramel frappuccinos is 32 RMB. This chart shows that there isn't one point at which caramel frappuccinos are unit elastic or inelastic. Therefore, we can come to the conclusion that caramel frappuccinos are price elastic goods, and that the severity of elasticity is subject to its price. The data provided also indicates that if Starbucks were to decrease their price by just 2 RMB, that their total revenue would increase by 200 RMB. In accordance with the data provided, the lower the price becomes, the greater the total revenue becomes.
However, because we could not retrieve the information on how much it would cost to produce 1 cup of caramel frappuccino, we cannot know if reducing the price would produce a greater economic profit or not, for the very reason that if the marginal cost was more than the marginal revenue, then the extra 200 RMB incurred by reducing the price of caramel frappuccinos would result in a total loss of revenue. Conversely, if Starbucks were to raise the price of their frappuccino by 2 kuai, they would then lose 200 kuai in total revenue. Not to forget that this is only the small slice of what actually is Starbucks' consumer group. Needless to say, the demand curve for caramel frappuccinos is as follows.
This simple graph tells a lot about the nature of demand, specifically that of the demand of caramel frappuccinos at Starbucks. If the price of a caramel frappuccino is 32 RMB, you can notice as the price deviates from 32 RMB, the nature of the slope changes as you move down versus when you move up. As you move down in price, the amount of people that wish to buy caramel frappuccinos increases at a greater rate than if you were to move up in price.
So our conclusion? If Starbucks increases their price by just 2 kuai, that means they lose 10 cups of frappuccinos by just 20 people. So, if you just take all these little Zudi towns and Shanghai American schools and multiply them by 1 billion, because that's how many Starbucks there are in the whole world, that's a lot of lost cups of coffee and frappuccinos and visits to Starbucks for those 10 lost frappuccinos.
The thing you gotta remember, guys, is a critical asset to Starbucks is this caramel frappuccino, especially because of its elastic demand curve. Without that, Starbucks can make half the money it probably makes. So think, what does the caramel frappuccino have to give to Starbucks? Everything. Without the caramel frappuccino, is there a Starbucks? That's all for now, guys. Thank you for watching the DCE Economics Podcast. We'll catch you later.